Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you enjoyed that small introduction as I wanted to show my love and reverence for the Horus Heresy. This is probably my biggest side project I'll be doing in conjunction with the Old World, and what you're seeing in front of you is the Horus Heresy Volume 2 Visions of Darkness book. Why I'm showing this book is because I grew up on this with the Horus Heresy. I think back then in the early 2000s, my older brother kept showing me all this imagery and it stuck with me for all of my wargaming career. There was something about not knowing all of the details, random pieces of art with just a paragraph or two to describe the atrocity or the event that I really appreciated and loved. And so what I want to do for this project is a big thank you to my two older brothers. Young Ok and Young Hyun, I've mentioned before in my Glockkin video, they mean the world to me, and with the military I've seen them less and less, but at the same time, without them I wouldn't be doing Warhammer or any wargaming. And so for this side project, it's gonna be probably a 6-month journey of creating them a Old Hammer style Horus Heresy faction. Starting with Younguk, my oldest brother, he will be playing the Imperial Fist, so I'll be focusing more on Mark II and III armor. While for Younghyun, my second oldest, he'll be playing Salamanders, Raven Guard, and Iron Hands, so the Shattered Legions, so I'll be having fun with all the different marks of armor. As for me, I will be playing the Traitors, so I'll be focusing on Emperor's Children, Word Bearers, Death Guard, and the Thousand Sons. And now I'm going to explain the way I'm going to be sculpting and being inspired for Old Hammer miniatures. So for this Horus Heresy project, everything will be sculpted in the vein of Rogue Trader and early 2nd edition, and I'm going to be using all the pieces of old art to be inspired. And I hope this makes a little bit of sense. It kind of fits the theme of my channel, and I'm super excited to share with you the first couple of Marines I've done for Younghyun's Shattered Legion. And again, I'll throw up some photos of the models that will be inspiring the different marks. They will look a little bit different than modern day counterparts. That's mainly due to them sculpting that way, I guess, in the late 80s and early 90s. So finally, on to the models themselves. Up first is a very classic Beaky from Rogue Trader. He is a beautiful model, and this one I will not be touching, as he fits Younghyun's Raven Guard for his Shattered Legion. Here is another Beaky from Talisman 2nd edition. And again, I am going with the old lore, even though Corvus armor, the Mark VI, is a lot more common in current Horus Heresy. I'm going to save it for specific legions. For this Marine, he is another Rogue Trader Marine. He is a Beaky, but I love the pose so much, I'm going to turn him into a Salamander, wearing the old version of 2nd edition Iron armor, the Mark III. And already I started converting a different Rogue Trader Marine. This was in the Beaky armor. He is going to be in Iron Hands from the Drop Site Massacre. So I'm going to lean more to the Mark II armor from Rogue Trader. The armor is very fun to sculpt. I have to make sure I get all the panels looking pretty accurate. And here you can see I'm sculpting the head. I did put a few more mechanical eyes to the helmet, as this is meant to be an Iron Hand Marine. It's been really fun doing this, and it's pushing my sculpting skills beyond what I'm normally used to. And each time you see me showcase each miniature, I'm fine-tuning different sections, letting everything dry fully, and overall I'm really happy with the direction that this Mark II is coming along at the moment. And you can see how much he's looking like the original Mark II Crusade armor. I'm really happy with it. The rivets are turning out amazing, and I have a lot of plans to do a lot of sculpting videos for this whole project. Making our way back to the original Beaky you saw, I had to slice the helmet off and get the pose ready, I am saving the helmet and I'm going to paint it as a Emperor's Children on his base. And you can see how I'm starting to form the basic shape of the miniature and the plates, and you can see this huge jump. Again, I do plan to have a lot of sculpting tutorials for all of my YouTube members. This project has been extremely fun, and I'm looking forward to sharing all of my insightful wisdom I've learned through this journey. But you can see for this guy, all the rivets came out good. The whole pose is pretty menacing. I do love how these old miniatures have such dynamic poses. Onto another Rogue Trader miniature. I had to slice off his head, the knee pads, and again, I'm getting the basic shape set in stone for this pose. I'm going to turn this Beaky into another Mark III iron armor based off of the old Rogue Trader / 2nd edition artwork. And here you're going to see a little bit of sculpting live. To make sure I get all of the panels smooth, I have to put the green stuff on both sides of the leg and gently push it into the shape I want. This process is pretty actually therapeutic, you'd be surprised, and it's not as hard as you would assume. Just take your time and have a lot of fun, and again, always have reference photos nearby. After that, I'm putting a bit more green stuff onto the torso. The first layer was meant just to be a placeholder / guide of where I want it. This layer is when I can push in, make it a bit thicker, and get ready for the rivets I want to put individually on the side of this. The Mark III armor is known to have a lot of rivets, just like the Mark II, so I have to start making all of the areas kind of smooth to get ready for the rivets. And so far, looking really good. All of the panels are smooth and ready for all the finer details onto the armor. And you can see the rivets coming on to the Mark III iron armor. Really happy with the helmet. And again, I am trying to make all the armor a little bit more unique as per the old artwork. So even though the iron armor has a iconic look, I am doing slight variations of it based off of the original models as well. And here he is with all the rivets, really happy with him. Actually, after these clips, you'll see all of the current models. I do go back and I do change the pauldron and add a few more details, but overall, I'm very pleased with how all of the models are looking, especially the pose. These old Rogue Trader models had some of the most dynamic poses for Space Marines, and I absolutely adore them. And here is a old Mark III iron armor Space Marine that I do convert slightly because his shoulders were too big and the gun was different. And guys, here is the current state of Inhyun's Shattered Legion. I've only spent a couple days doing all this work, but I'm so pleased with how everything's looking. So you're gonna see this guy here. This is the model you just saw. I did bring down the shoulders a bit because he was a bit too squat looking. I had to sculpt the gun to fit the Rogue Trader look. It's not done yet. Had to fill the hand in and sculpt more of the details, so we're really pleased with this guy. Over here we have the other Crusade Mark III armor. Really pleased with them. I added some rivets to the pauldron, and on my Instagram I'll be posting all of the green stuff, so you have more close-ups. Then you have the other Mark III iron armor. Really happy with it. I did go back and add this Rogue Trader little armor plate that they put the freehand on, and on this pauldron I did smooth off the studs and just make it a normal Space Marine pauldron. Same thing for the Iron Hands Mark II Crusade armor. Really happy with the pose and just the sculpting in general. A lot of good detail. The two Beakies needed no work, and a small work in progress of a Heresy armor marine. And guys, that was it. I have a lot more Space Marines to convert. This will be a long side project, so I do hope you guys enjoyed it. I want to thank all of the YouTube members. It's been really fun and I appreciate all the support. Look forward to a ton more stuff. And if you enjoyed this stuff, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm super excited to continue this journey for the Horus Heresy. And especially, I do hope my two older brothers enjoy this project, as it is probably my biggest thank you I can give to them both. See you guys next time.